People could only see these numbers when they're in high school and maybe in college. They realize how little it takes to save up $1 million in their nest egg. What I want to do is show you, let's say somebody's coming out of college and they're making $35,000 a year, and they can save 7% of that, which would be $200 a month, 204 in this case. And we're going to increase that by a 3% each year because you're going to get raises with inflation. So look at this reasonable amount we're talking about, $200, 206, 212. Where might that individual be in the next basically 45 years? If you're in your early 20s, you've got 45 years till you're looking at retirement. Just run these numbers. Again, we're using the S&P 500 historical returns. We realize none of the returns going forward are going to be exactly like that, but they're going to give us a range that you can look at. I want you to notice $200 a month, increasing that by 3% a year. Here's the returns for all the 45-year periods for the last 100 years. For example, 1924, you can see right here, this is a summary box for 1924, 3.812. There's 3.812. Just go down and no matter what year pick, 1927, 3304, and 1929, beginning of the Depression, you hung it out, you'd have almost $3 million. And yet in the worst case scenario, in this whole row, you're going to find $2 million. That's what somebody beginning in their early 20s with nothing saved so far and just putting in $200 a month, which would be about 7% of somebody making 35,000. If you raise it up to like 60,000, let's do that real quick. And you'd be saving $350 a month. Let's do that real quick. $350 a month. So we're going between 200 and 350. Look at what 350 in the worst case scenario in this column, 3.533 million. The median in this column would be 5.772. Let's go back to this 200. I just want to show people how easy it is to get to $1 million. Now, the next question is, what's that $1 million going to be worth in 45 years? That's why we run project ahead what the inflation rate might do to the buying power of these amounts. And if we had a 3% inflation rate, which has historically happened in the last 100 years, this $2 million out of the buying power of 618. But this 3.298, which is the median of this column, would have the buying power of $1 million. So yes, you have to take into account inflation, but look at that. That's just $200 a month over a 45-year period, which is only 7% of somebody making, what was that, 35,000 we had there? 35,000? Yeah, 7%. A lot of financial advisors, which I'm not one, they say they recommend at least 10 to 15%. I'm just running at 7%, folks, on a $35,000 salary. You're making more than that. It can get up to $350 a month. We saw what that would do. The same scenario, $350 a month, beginning with nothing, increasing that by 3% a year. There's 350. And all of a sudden, you're up to $3.5 million in the worst case scenario in the last 45 years, which would have the buying power of $1 million. That's why we call this channel $1 Million Made Easy, because I want people to see just how easy it is. A lot of financial people recommend saving 15 to 20%. Look at this. We're just talking about saving just 7% of somebody making 60,000. That's what we do on this channel. But if you want me to run numbers for you, just put in the comment section. Give me the beginning balance, whether you want me to inflate that each year, and what you can put in each month, and we'll run the numbers for you. That's what we do on this channel. If somebody has already been able to save up maybe $30,000, and maybe they're not 25 anymore, but maybe they can put in, let's just go $400 a month. Same scenario, increase that by 3% a year. You don't have 45 years because we're talking about somebody that's maybe a little bit older. It's been able to accumulate 30,000. Let's look at the 35-year column. Say somebody's 30 years old and has saved up 30,000. Let's look at the 35-year column. Look at that. The red. Worst case scenario, $2.319 million, saving $400 a month, increasing that by 3% a year, beginning with 30,000. But that's what we do on this channel. We run numbers. Any numbers you want me to run, again, just give me a number 1, number 2, and number 3, and I'll run numbers for you. Please share this channel with other people. Let them know that there's a channel out there that will run numbers for them. Just kind of project ahead what they might have in the future. It just kind of gives you kind of a heads up, and maybe it gives you an encouragement to save more, especially when you realize how little it takes to get to these $1 million figures, even taking into account inflation. Please subscribe. Please share this with your friends. Thanks for watching, and please like the video.